Canadian Tire Motorsports Park has hosted some of the fiercest NASCAR battles we've seen over the last decade. Today, this famed road course is set for a 200-kilometer shootout as the NASCAR Pinty Series is in full championship mode.
Canada's series, the NASCAR Pinty Series, has traveled from coast to coast, where the run-up to the championship has been intense. With 4 races to go, all eyes are on the Cup. The chance to call oneself a champion, to live a lifelong dream. The opportunity to hoist one of the most prestigious awards in all of Canadian racing. This is the NASCAR Pinty Series, the true north, strong and fast. Hello and welcome to the Clarington region of Ontario, just outside of Toronto, as Canadian Tire Motorsports Park proud to bring you the Total Quartz 200, the 10th race of the NASCAR Pinty Series campaign in 2018. I'm Dave Bradley. Along with me is Adam Ross. Both Todd Lewis and Clinton Jeffrey will be patrolling the pits for us here today. But Adam, with 4 races to go, it's safe to say it is go time.
Dave, you're absolutely right. It's go time for everybody in the starting field, with the exception of the pole sitter, LP Dumoulin, coming off a big win last week in Nova Scotia. He just needs to maintain his advantage. He
does, and we'll take a look at the point standings. It's a 19-point margin. The man from Trois-Rivières, Quebec, is in control over the 3 of Cole Powell from Mount Bridges, Ontario.
And Cole Powell is not the best road racer. He'll be the first to tell you that. Their objective is to survive today. They're starting deep in this field. If they can come up for a top 10 finish, I'm sure he'll be satisfied. Everybody else in the top 5, they need to go out and win this race. But again, for LP, it's quite simple.
Man who will control the start of this race, standing by with our Clinton Jeffrey. Let's say hello to Clinton.
Thanks, guys. LP Dumoulin picked up his 3rd win of the season last week at Riverside. And as you all know, consistency wins championships. In the last 4 races, the 39-year-old has picked up 2 wins and 2 second-place finishes. They're focused on the goal. They got their eyes on the big picture. They want to be the ones holding up the Big Pinty's trophy at the NASCAR banquet in December.
Thanks, Clinton. LP's been at this a long time. He knows how to get it done.
He sure does, and he looks fantastic this season. Another driver looking good this year, 9th place in the points, but he's leading the Jostens Rookie of the Year standing.
Now, Brett Taylor from Calgary, Alberta, will have an uphill climb here today. He'll start in 16th position. Let's get more on him from Todd Lewis. Todd?
You're right, guys. Brett Taylor has been trying to learn every time out. Consistency wins all kinds of championships, including the Rookie of the Year title. Brett posted a 9th place finish here at the season opener at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. He's looking for a little more road course success as he rolls off 16th today. Just about time to get started. Let's go up track for the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
The field comes to life on the front straightaway here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and what a field it is, Adam.
Dave, the heavy hitters all at the front of this field. Dumoulin and Ranger on the front row, Tagliani right there, so is Cameron. But Gary Cluton at 59, another one we want to pay attention to today.
Well, we'll have a number of onboard unique views to watch today's race. He's on David Thorndike. We'll carry an onboard camera, so will Adam Martin. So we'll keep you up to date throughout today's 51 laps from a bunch of different angles as the field's set to roll off here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park as we bring you the Total Quartz 200.
Looks like everybody is fired and is rolling away behind the caution car. But Dave, let's have a look at this legendary race course.
Number of great passing spots, Adam. You've got a good spot in turn 1, turn 3, and then there's 5A and B.
The hairpin in turn 5 is so important. Even if you don't complete a pass there, it sets you up for the long Mario Andretti straightaway into the high-speed turn 8.
Let's take a look at your Total Quartz starting lineup. On pole is LP Dumoulin. Andrew Ranger will start alongside. Row number 2 is Alex Tagliani and Marc-Antoine Cameron.
Back to the 3rd row is where we'll find Gary Cluton, the 59, and Jean-Francois Dumoulin in the 04. And then in row 4, it's DJ Kennington and James Vance in the number 1.
Looking back to row number 5, Ryan Clute in the 42. There's Kerry Mix in the 02. Row 6 has Robin Buck. Welcome back to the series in the 28. Donald Teach in the 24.
To row 7, we find Anthony Simone and Simone Dion-Vienne in the 37 machine. And what a surprise, Kevin Lacroix in the 74 and Brett Taylor in the 46.
Malcolm Strawn driving the 56 for Jim Bray here today. Adam Martin in the 19. Chris Sahakian is in the 9 making his first start. There's Cole Powell in the 3.
Row number 11, Julia Landauer from New York City and Jocelyn Fecto in the 77. David Thorndike, great to have him back in the 67, and Raymond Gay in the 20, and we round out the field with Martin Cote in the 11 and Larry Jackson in the 43.
And Adam, as we mentioned, 51 laps. Let's take a look at your E3 Sparkplugs race analysis.
51 laps is long enough that they have to come in for fuel, and if you want to win this race, Dave, you're going to take on 4 tires. It's just the way it's always been.
Before we see the green flag, let's go down pit side once again and check in with Todd.
Update on a couple of drivers, guys, who had to change motors after practice yesterday. The 17 of DJ Kennington, he will roll off 7th. And for the 3rd time this season, the 74 of Kevin Lacroix, motor problems, barely got a lap in. He will roll off 15th. These 2 drivers benefited by their not being qualifying. They get to keep their fast practice times and their starting spots.
Gray sky overhead. You can see some of the defrosting units on the front windscreens of some of these drivers. Some still have the pipes and the fans. Others have gone to like a rear window defrogger, but on your front windshield.
Mother Nature threw a bit of a curveball. We all expected bright sunshine today, and it's coming. And I think we're going to see during this race, you already see the fog burning off. The conditions are going to change a great deal.
Never know what you're going to get here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, but that's what makes this place so special. You can see the pace car pulling off towards pit lane as the field bunches up through turn number 9, heading for turn number 10. This is where the butterflies start to build for these drivers. Onto the front straightaway, looking for green off turn number 10, and we're underway here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park.
About as even a start as you're going to find here. Andrew Ranger really tested LP Dumoulin, and you've got to remember, let's talk about points. Ranger needs to lead this lap. LP Dumoulin for Ranger, for Tagliani, for Cameron. They've got to keep him from leading a lap. These guys need to dominate this race and get as many points as they can.
On board the number 1 of James Vance into turn number 4. You can see the tires still building pressure. Things are always a little dicey this early on in a race.
And James Vance was one I spoke with early in the season. With the sports car experience that he's got, he's mentioned before, you really have to be super aggressive on the starts and restarts, but I think what he's going to find is we're on board with Malcolm Strong racing with the 02 of Kerry Mix. Everybody is super aggressive on our starts and restarts.
But did you see that flash of red? The 74 of Kevin Lacroix on the Total bumper-to-bumper Dodge Challenger. He is moving his way up through this field.
Look here, Andrew Ranger, he's got to lead this lap. He'll dive to the inside of 10.
See, 10's a good opportunity to make a pass, but you have to make it stick. LP Dumoulin will drive off the outside and count a lap for your points leader.
Big deal for LP Dumoulin, and that's all he needed. Lead a lap. I think you'll find him be a little bit conservative in this race. He knows the game plan for these other drivers. They have to go for broke. He has to avoid going broke.
Well, now he's getting a little bit close there with the Paillet GMC number 22 on Marc-Antoine Cameron. So it looks like the 47's going to find a hole and slot into 4th spot.
Just ahead of Gary Clute in the 59, his own brother JF Dumoulin in the 04, and actually further back in that line is Gary Clute's brother Ryan Clute in the 42.
You see this lead line of cars all the way back to Anthony Simone, and you look through some of the names. You've got Clute, you've got Dumoulin, you've got Kennington there. Any one of these drivers can win.
You go so far back through the field. I mean, as we watch the ticker go by, Kevin Lacroix in 12th, Kerry Mix in 13th. They've won a lot of races themselves. So we've got winners all through this field. And listen to these motors wind out.
There's something special about a NASCAR race car on a road course and on a straightaway as long as the Andretti straightaway here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Those engines really do wind out going into turn number 8.
Cannington looks to the inside of JF Dumoulin. That car wiggled into the corner, up over the rumble strips. That reminded me of how Peter Gibbons used to race these road courses, up on the rumble strips. But that allowed Ryan Clute to make the pass for 7th. When you've got them running this close together, every time you make a move, Dave, you're sacrificing something.
Ryan Clute not as experienced as his brother, the 59, Gary Clute. There you see battling with your points leader, the 47 of LP Dumoulin. Dumoulin takes a look in the mirror, exactly what you were mentioning. He saw the youngster coming through hard, decided to let him go, slot in behind. But action is fast and furious in the early going here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. This NASCAR on TSN event from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is brought to you by WeatherTech, the ultimate interior protection for your vehicle. By Leland Industries, a proud Canadian fastener company. And by Honey Goo from Clean Flow, one honey of a lube. Still under green here as Andrew Ranger in the Mopar Dodge continues to lead the Rona EpiPen Chevy of Alex Tagliani, but they're not too far apart.
No, it's a torrid pace at the start of this one that Andrew Ranger is setting, but Alex Tagliani, Marc-Antoine Cameron perfectly capable of keeping that up. James Vance made a move around the 28 of Robin Buck down into turn number 1. We ride on board with the driver, the number 1.
Now, that was a lap ago, picking up 10th spot from Robin Buck. But one interesting story that we continue to follow. You remember he started on pole because he was fastest in practice yesterday, and he's your points leader here today as a driver of the WeatherTech number 47 LP Dumoulin, but he continues to struggle. He continues to drop back just a little bit.
Yeah, it's curious. I mean, it's hard to convince a winning race car driver not to push your car as hard as it will go. It could be strategy, Dave. It's hard to say.
Well, that's the thing about this race, is strategies do vary from time to time. So sometimes you get a driver coming in early. But with more on this story, let's go down to Todd. Todd?
Concerned but not alarmed is the attitude of the LP Dumoulin crew. The 47 team worried that the tire pressures aren't where they want them to be. They're hoping that they build up for LP and then he can charge back up toward the front.
It's good when you think you know what's going on. So they think they have a theory why they fell back. I mean, the good news is you're in 5th spot. He's still in sight of the leaders, as we can see here. And I don't know if he would want to be amongst that battle between Tagliani, Ranger, and Cameron.
Yeah, because you know fireworks are going to fly eventually between that lead group as we ride on board Marc-Antoine Cameron.
That's turn 4. Now they're into the hairpin.
Love that, dropping down through the gears, though.
I could actually watch an entire race just in-car cameras. Switch from one to the other, figure out where we're at. I think that'd be the coolest thing, Dave.
It is pretty neat, and you see the different nuances from some of the drivers as well, especially when you get the onboard look at the driver in their workplace. But the sun has come out, and that's going to change the track conditions here just a little bit. Things are going to start to warm up.
It sure is, and the one thing with the in-car cameras, the one thing that amazes me, the drivers look so calm and so in control. When you watch it from where we're standing,
look at them.
It looks like mayhem.
It really
it's
does.
Chaos.
They are sliding around as we have a double box look now. Battle for 3rd and a battle for the lead, and just as you asked for, Adam, onboard shots. Cameron on the left-hand side. There you see him flashing through your screen, being chased by the 59 of Gary Clute, but you can see him fighting the wheel just a little bit.
Yeah, I think they're always working fairly hard in the race cars. We go down through 4. We're on board with Tagliani. Down into the hairpin that leads onto the Mario Andretti straightaway. Tag got a really nice run there through turns 5.
Back for From your race leader in the Mopar Dodge, Andrew Ranger grabs a gear up the Andretti straightaway. A quick look at the mirror. He will see the Chevrolet of Alex Tagliani just in behind Tagliani, not quite close enough to make a move into turn number 8.
So on the left, we're actually in the onboard of Tagliani, looking at the 27 of Ranger, up through turn 9, right on the back bumper of that 27.
This is a place that Tagliani likes to make a run. Turn number 10, not close enough that time either, so he'll fall back into the shadow of the number 27, Andrew Ranger.
Going into turn 2 there by Ranger and Tagliani. Tag kept a tighter line going in than Ranger did. Ranger using a little bit more of the racetrack going in. You'll see both of them use all of the asphalt coming off the corner, right up to the edge of the runoff.
Turn number 4 is tricky because it sets you up for turn number 5. On board with Tagliani, as we mentioned. There you see the nose of the Rona EpiPen Chevy drop to the ground as he gets hard on the brakes and closes the gap on your race leader. Bangs off the curb at 5B and heads down the back straightaway.
Traffic ahead of the leaders on this straightaway. There's a few cars out in front of them. We'll see if that affects Ranger.
Trying to make good use of the draft is LB Dumoulin. He poked a nose, but you can see didn't quite have it there, so he decided to fall back in behind the 59 of Gary Clute. But look, there is that lap traffic. Cote just ahead. Ranger dives to the inside, and now look, Tagliani had a great run coming through turn number 10 to the outside in turn number 1.
Yeah, Ranger defended the entry of 1. The other thing that Dumoulin did there by pulling out of line, it lets them see what's ahead. It's unbelievable, and talk about it right here. When Tag gets behind Ranger and when you're in a straight line, you don't see anything but the rear spoiler of the car in front of you. So Dumoulin going at that speed, well over 150, 160 miles per hour down the straightaway, you pull out a line, you have a bit of a vantage point of what's ahead in case you need to take evasive action.
Well, especially when you know you're coming into lap traffic, so you want to make sure you know where that lap car is. Hopping off the curbs. And there's a thump as Alex Tagliani reminds Andrew Ranger just how close he is.
Well, and that really hurt Tagliani. See how far Ranger got ahead. If he could have got through the corner without the bump, he'd have been possibly making a move. But look at this. You don't see much of what's ahead of Andrew Ranger in a straight line.
Easy on the brake and down through the gears just a little bit for Alex Tagliani. And through 9, he closes the gap once again. Turn 10, he has a look. Tagliani to the inside and to the lead. But here comes Ranger back on the inside.
What a crossover move by Ranger, and he will lead that lap. Wow.
That is one of the problems with turn number 10. It's such a tight corner that if you know a pass is coming, you cross back down and you get to the inside and you make a run to turn number 1. So they resume this lead and chase position that they've had for the last number of laps. Only 10 laps in the books of a scheduled 51.
And Tag is right up on the rear decklet of the Mopar number 27 as they exit turn 3, now down into this blind turn 4 under the Chevrolet bridge.
You see the name of the car on Tagliani's car. We'll get back to that. We do have a car down pit lane, the 02 of Kerry Mix. Down pit lane for refueling. And Clinton Jeffrey just telling us that there was an issue refueling the 02.
Yeah, that's not what Kerry Mix wants to hear for sure. That's pretty early to come down pit lane. Lap 10, that's aggressive.
Well, they're just in their pit window for fuel, so it's an early stop, but they can make it the rest of the way if they so choose. Because likely these teams, history tell us here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a couple cautions.
Well, you could also, here he goes again to the inside. Ranger drops the anchor. Gary Clute making a move for third.
And look at Dumoulin joining the party for third. Ranger back out in front, so he'll lead that lap. Clute to the inside of the 22. Third spot to Gary Clute. The lead goes back to Andrew Ranger.
And
What a
Alex
dogfight.
Tagliani has still not led a lap. He's taken the lead twice, but he is not credited either time. He almost needs to slow down more going into the corner to prevent Ranger from getting back to the inside. But so hard to do when you've got three other cars right behind you.
Dumoulin, quick on-board shot. This is back up at the front again in turn number 5. This is where Tagliani in the middle of turn 5 and A and B as Chris Sahakian makes a quick pit stop. That's also out of the mixed camp. The driver of the 9 making his first start, a veteran of the Touring Car Series in Canada.
And let's remember the race back in May. Andrew Ranger almost won that race. Contact on the last lap took it away, but his crew chief, Dave White, did not bring him into the pits until very late in that race. So late tires is what led Andrew Ranger to his charge to the front. Here goes Tagliani
Once again. To the inside, Tagliani will stay lower this time, but is he low enough? Tagliani will lead that lap. No, Ranger got back out in front.
By a nose, it's Ranger again.
I thought he did enough because, as you mentioned, he slowed it down. He kept it off the curb on exit. But still, Ranger able to do the slide top back and forth. Now they rub in turn number 2.
Wow, that is a treacherous place to make a pass. Tagliani to the lead.
Patience might have been worn out for Alex Tagliani. He says, you know what, I want to lead one of these things. Here I go.
Look at this driver in 3rd place. Gary Clute led a bunch of laps in May. He's moved up from his 5th place starting spot to be right on the heels of Andrew Ranger.
Yeah, he's no stranger to this circuit, is Gary Clute. He's done a number of lapping days in very different cars, from street car Corvettes to sports cars here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, but he's always at home behind the wheel of his NASCAR Pinty Series car, and he's won a couple of times.
And he has new area sponsorship on that 59 machine again, and he's had that on the car for a few of the races he's run this year.
Giving them another good showing here at this one as the Rona EpiPen Chevy of Alex Tagliani leads the Mopar Dodge of Andrew Ranger holds down 2nd. There's the GM Paille number 22. Marc-Antoine Cameron, and Ranger goes to the pits. Cameron's going to follow him.
Well, and we can see crews up and down pit road getting ready for action. Ranger and Cameron, the first 2 to head down this long pit road.
Minding the pit road speed limit, that's very important. He'll find Todd waiting in his pit. Todd?
First of the front runners now arriving. The 27 on pit road, fuel going in. The 22 of Marc-Antoine Cameron also hits pit road. Scott Steckler, the team owner, holds the signboard. The 27 away, the 22 follows him. Now the 74 of Kevin Lacroix, and they are taking tires on the left side. An interesting strategy move by this 74 team. The 18 is now getting ready.
Leave it to Don Thompson Jr. to think of something different. New strategy we haven't seen played out here before.
It wasn't 2 laps ago I said, remember in May, could have been the winning strategy, taking tires super late. They just took tires pretty early, Dave.
Well, we'll see if it works out for Kevin Lacroix on the bumper-to-bumper Total Dodge. On the exit of pit lane, and he'll return to the fray. A clear track for the driver of the 74. Former winner here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is Kevin Lacroix.
And between my opinion and Don Thompson's opinion, Dave, I'm going with Donnie Thompson.
That's true.
Forget what I said.
More cars dive off, including your race leader, the 18, Alex Tagliani. That's Jocelyn Fecteau just ahead. Gary Clute's with him as well.
He's lost a lot of time behind Fecteau.
Fecteau now pulls. He'll find his pit stall first, but Tagliani's way down at the other end of pit lane. Here comes Gary Clute.
Gary Clute pulls in for a full load of fuel here. A slight adjustment on the right rear. Gary is looking for a good showing in his last race of the season here. He's definitely got a shot.
Tagliani needing a push. He'll take a load of fuel as well, and he'll get out in front of the new area number 51 of Gary Clute.
The 95 of Anthony Simone rolls off, and there's the on-fit 28 of Robin Buck in to take on fuel. That's a cool-looking race car.
Very neat paint scheme for the car out of the DJK stables. And Robin Buck, a former winner on a road course in the NASCAR Pinty series. And so he's has to be one of the favorites. He's inside the top 10, but your new race leader is your points leader, LP Dumoulin, who's taken over top spot. He is yet to pit, though.
Yeah, Dumoulin's still out on the racetrack, well ahead of these drivers who already came down pit road. Watching the 18 of Alex Tagliani. He, of course, had the lead earlier on, and that's what's, thank goodness for electronic scoring, and Kerry Mix back on pit road in the 0-2.
Remember, he had that fueling issue early on, and it looks like the team going to open up the trunk and take a look. There appeared to be some fuel sloshing out of the side of it. And the 67 of David Thorndike coming down for his scheduled service.
Yeah, and we're hearing Mix was called down pit road, so he didn't choose to come into the pits. NASCAR ordered them to the pits to find out why the fuel is coming out of that race car as it is.
Long laps give you an opportunity to work on the car just a little bit without a threat of going a lap down. This is a 20 of Raymond Gay. Does go a lap down to your race leaders. We ride on board the WeatherTech.ca number 47.
That's like riding a roller coaster. You come over the hill, you're not quite sure what's going to be there. I mean, that's even watching on the camera, I can't imagine what it feels like in the car.
Oh, he missed the apex there on the exit of turn number 5. It looks like Dumoulin got a little excited. No pressure from behind, so that's the bonus there, as it allows you to make a few mistakes at times. But Dumoulin has been really pretty perfect. He leads here in the Total Quartz 200. The number 1 Expo Systems Ford of James Vance on pit road for his fuel stop. A CBRT racer having a productive day here at the Total Quartz 200.
So he grabs a gear and lights it up, and boy, oh boy, he is excited about something he's saying.
Something may be amiss with that car, as you saw the hand shaking on pit exit. On board with Malcolm Strawn, started 17th all the way up to 3rd in the Jim Bray-owned number 56. Good story, Malcolm Strawn, a veteran of the Touring Car Series here in Canada. And we've got a car around turn 10.
Martin Cote pointed backwards in a bad spot just at the exit of turn 10, but really he's blind to anybody coming into that corner because of that Castrol Edge wall. They really can't see what's ahead of them.
And there is your race leader down pit lane. Green flag is still out, and LP Dumoulin heads down. Now we have a caution. That's a huge win for LP Dumoulin.
Yeah, that's a pretty big break as Cote backs that car up. Dumoulin making his way down to his pit stall all the way to the turn 1 end.
47 along pit lane, front grill gets cleaned, fuel goes in. They're going to double check to make sure he beat the pit close, but it looks like he did from here.
So now we'll have to see where the 47 of LP Dumoulin will blend in. We know he won't be the leader when we do go back to green, but there you see Alex Tagliani going by the 27 of Andrew Ranger. So
I'm not sure Dumoulin should have been waved onto the track at that point.
With the pace car there, too, it was a little tight.
So let's see when the yellow is called. There's Cote going around just ahead of Robin Buck in the 28.
And there's problems for Vance. We saw him on pit exit, unhappy with something going on in the car, and it looks like Vance has come to a stop up in turn number 5.
I actually heard him say the car is dead, no power. So here we've got the caution vehicle on the racetrack waving cars by.
I think your race leader is going to be the 04 of JF Dumoulin. As we take a look at timing and scoring, it appears as though that's who the caution car is waiting for.
I'm trying to run this through my head, Dave. If you come into the pits when the green flag is out and the yellow flag comes out while you're in the pits, when do you get to leave the pits? Like if the pace car is already out and left pit exit, you're technically not supposed to be able to pass the pace car.
These are questions we're going to have to mull over during the break, but we'll be back to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. JF Dumoulin is your leader. We're still under caution here at the Total Quartz 200 at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the 10th race of the 2018 NASCAR Pinty Series. Your current leader, JF Dumoulin, now gets his opportunity to pit in the Spectra Premium Dodge. He heads down for his service as we ride on board the number 56 of Malcolm Strong.
Malcolm driving the Jim Bray-owned entry in the number 56. That car has seen a few different drivers in it the last couple of years. And boy, he almost drove back. Yeah, we were on board. He pits behind the 04. Crew Chief Mike Knott on the radio also telling him he's got to back up, and that's hard.
Right on the marks for the championship point leader, and the 47 crew goes to work. Left side, Goodyear's going on first. Oldland's coming off. They'll swing around and then change the right side tires. Rest of the front runners also starting to come in. The 18 and the 22 also coming in. The 27 of Andrew Ranger also making his next scheduled stop. Fresh tires on the 27 car. The next wave of cars also making their arrival. The 3 fresh tires. For the 74, it will be fuel. They did tires in the last stop. They should be able to exit quicker.
Well, that, again, it comes down to strategy. Don Thompson Jr., when he's calling your shots, he's going to make some passes on pit road, but let's see, as long as they get in and out cleanly. And remember, more scoring loops, because we're here the weekend with the NASCAR trucks, they're scoring loops all the way down pit lane, so they're catching people speeding more than they would in a normal series race for us.
The EHR crew going to work on the 3 of Cole Powell. Remember, he came into this one second in points. You see the 17 of DJ Kennington. His service is complete, but the 1 back down pit lane. Clinton?
Well, James Vance comes into today with a shot at the win, but now they've got the hood up crew working on the electronics inside the cockpit. They're checking plug wires and ignition. Something obviously not right in the electrical system here for James Vance.
There's nothing worse than electrical problems and trying to chase them. They're just so hard to find. There's Chris Sahakian in his debut with the NASCAR Pinty Series, driving that number 9.
Field lining up behind the pace car. We can tell you that the 59 of Gary Clute is your race leader. Julia Landauer in the number 25 Heart Source Ford running second. We'll be back with a drop of the green once again. All weekend, well-wishers have been sending their heartfelt messages to Robert Wickens over social media and signing this wonderful banner they have set up here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Of course, Wickens injured in a racing crash in Pocono, Pennsylvania. We hope the Guelph native does have a speedy and full recovery.
Absolutely, Dave, and there's a lot of autographs on that banner.
Yeah, everybody's racing with thoughts for Robert. Get well soon, and we'll send those messages along, too. So it's Gary Clute and Anthony Simoni, the top 2, as they lead them back to green here on lap 20.
Great restart for Gary Clute, and Dion Vienne aggressively up the inside as they're nearly 3 wide in turn 1.
Now the Castrol Ford Fusion out of the Dave Jacobs stable. He's having another quietly good run, but look at the Gold Rush start down in between 1 and 2.
Who is that on the outside? That's Julia Landauer, who was way to the outside.
Welcome to road course racing in the NASCAR Pinty Series for Julia Landauer. She does have some experience racing at Sonoma in the K&N West Series, but this is a whole different story.
You know, that lane in turn 2 way to the outside, it wasn't that long ago that the runoff wasn't paid, and I mean, you wouldn't dare go that close to the edge.
So Alex Tagliani working around the 19 Johnsonville Ford Fusion of Adam Martin. Deeper in the pack is Brett Taylor, the Jostens Rookie of the Year candidate in the CBRT number 46. He's just ahead of the Castrol Edge Dodge of DJ Kennington.
And as we watch the field streak by, let's look for cars who might be done their pit stops. And the first one that jumps out at me is Kevin Lacroix, and that's 74, tires and fuel.
Watch now riding on board the 47, and look at how crossways the 37 of Simone Ziol-Vienne is just ahead of LP Dumoulin. Dumoulin saw an opening in turn 10, thought better of it, as Ziol-Vienne is getting all he can out of that race car.
I think what he saw was right through the 37 in the passenger side and driver's side windows. He was so sideways.
Ziol-Vienne, a veteran of supercars in Quebec, his native province, and has done a number of races in the NASCAR Pinty Series as well, showing very well in 2018. Unfortunately, luck hasn't been on his side.
No, and you need a little bit of that in the racing game. So let's give you a rundown on pit strategies. There are 4 cars that have not taken on tires. The 95 of Simoni, the 59 of Clute, the 56 of Malcolm Strawn, and the 37 of Dion Vienne. And what strikes me about all 4 of them, Dave, even though this field is so competitive, you give any of those 4 guys fresh tires the way Andrew Ranger had it in May, get the right yellows, they could make a run for the win.
Does it really surprise you, though, that Anthony Simoni in the 95 doesn't have tires? I mean, he generally, his strategy is to run those Goodyear Eagles down to the cords whenever we come here.
I mean, he drives that car so hard at all times. In the second position, doing a great job. And there's Alex Tagliani pressuring the 42 of Peter Clute as somebody locked up the brakes there in turn 9.
Here comes Tagliani underneath the 42 of Ryan Clute. Looks like Ranger's going to follow him through as well, as those two have been really tagged up since the caution period, and they've been continuing to work their way through the field.
That's a good feeling when you come off of turn number 1 and you put some daylight between the car you just passed. That was Andrew Ranger looking back from the 27 car.
And now you have Tagliani on the inside of the 37 of Simon Dion-Vienne, who comes down just ahead. That's a battle for 4th spot. That's how quickly those 2 cars have made their way through this field.
And remember, Dion-Vienne was not happy at Trois-Rivières. He spun out late in the race under caution. The yellow had already come out. There was some contact between himself and Alex Labay in the 36 car. Sorry, I had to remember what number Labay ran in Trois-Rivières. Of course, it was his 36, and it knocked him all the way out of the top 10. He was looking at a top 5 finish, so he's got reason to get up on the wheel and fight for every position.
Talked about the nicknames of some of these cars there. You see Moses on the dash of the 18 of Alex Tagliani. The 74 and 42 go side by side through 8 and now into 9. Tagliani the outside of number 9, and here comes Ranger.
Tag's got to get the nose to the inside of the 37 because Ranger is up the outside, side by side at the stripe.
A little bit further back, you saw contact. Now more contact up towards the front. Tagliani going to muscle his way through.
And look at Kevin Lacroix right behind them. He'll sneak through as well.
That's a veteran move. He just waited for it all to play out in front of him. He didn't have to lay a fender on anybody.
Oh, it's a lot nicer when somebody else can make the holes. You know Kevin can drive through them. If the hole opens up like that, he'll do that all the way to the front of the field.
The contact that I was talking about a little bit earlier, as we see a battle for 8th spot there with the 04, the 22, and the 42, as the 56 and the 22 made solid contact between turn number 9 and turn 10. That's something that you have to think about over the course of these longer races. Again, 51 laps, you start beating and banging on these cars, you're going to bend parts.
Well, I used to think that until we saw the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivières, and I mean, it was like watching bumper cars.
That's true, and those cars all stayed together.
JF Dumoulin to the outside of Dion-Vienne. Let's see if it pays off. He clears him down into turn 8.
It's not a bad move if you can get a run off turn 5. Here's Robin Buck to the inside of the 42. Ryan Clute, a big slide and a hard hit in the tire wall.
That was close quarters racing. Buck was right up behind the 42 of Clute. Clute goes around into the tire barrier.
The legendary motor cars, number 42 of Ryan Clute. It looks to be damaged to the back end. Now all wheels are pointed in the right direction as Clute, full course caution, is out for that incident in turn number 8. We'll have another look.
Yeah, it didn't look like, if Buck made contact with him, it was over the crest of the hill. He was definitely off the back bumper of the 42 car by the time they got into the turn.
Crew goes to work trying to piece together the back bumper cover of the legendary motor cars, number 42 of Ryan Clute. They have a little bit of work ahead of them, so while they do, we'll take a quick break here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Gary Clute, your race leader. Managed by Miles Brandt, owned by Carlo Fidani and Ron Fellows, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park has gone through quite the transformation in the last decade. But Adam, how cool would it be to see a NASCAR Cup race here on Canadian soil at this legendary track?
Look at the prominent Cup racers who have raced here. Even one here, Chase Elliott, got a win here in the trucks. I mean, this facility is legendary worldwide, Dave.
Getting set for a restart on lap 28 as the field doubles up in through turn number 10, looking for the green flag. And there you see some contact deeper in the field as everybody bunches up.
Yeah, they were all stacked up there in turn 10. Gary Clute with a clean launch out the front. Leaves Tag and Dumoulin side by side to battle for second.
On the nose of the 25 of Julia Landauer, have to duck out of line just for a quick bit as one of the cars on turn 1 exit grabs a little bit of the grass. And there you have contact. JF Dumoulin on the 27 of Andrew Ranger as the 74 of Kevin Lacroix goes by. More contact.
Contact down into turn 3. This is reminiscent of Trois Rivières a couple of weeks ago. The restarts were so physical.
Well, the cars at the front are so evenly matched. Anybody can win this race. You really have to take your chances when you're close and when you have the opportunity.
Strawn on the inside of Simone. He's going to try to cross him over here in 5. We're on board with Strawn, so look out the right side of the screen. See if we see that blue nose of the 56. Nope, Strawn pulled him off the corner.
You know, short of that error in the pits, Malcolm Strawn is having a great run in that Jim Bray number 56 Chevy Camaro. Back up at the front, though, it is Gary Clute in the 59. Still one of the drivers without tires.
Doing a great job out there on the tires. He started in 29 laps old, and Andrew Ranger is headed to pit road.
Well, this is huge. Andrew Ranger had finished his service. Does he have a tire going down? Is there an issue on the Mopar Dodge, the 27?
He was keeping pace with the leaders. I mean, he was in the front pack. We watch him on pit road, dreadfully slow as he makes his way down into his pit box.
Guys, it's the same problem with this 27 that's popped up a number of times. Power steering, the issue. They broke a fitting yesterday, but the car is off. Now Andrew's got it refired, hoping to get back into the fight.
Dave, I just don't understand the recurring problems with power steering, and this would be a different race car. This is a road course car, so it's a different car than they run on the ovals.
Yeah, Lady Luck not riding, but we do have a battle for the lead, and it's the 18 of Alex Tagliani. Tucks underneath the 59 of Clute in the new area. Dodge Challenger, and here comes the bumper-to-bumper Todell, number 74 of Kevin Lacroix.
And he left no doubt with that movie. He had almost cleared Clute and moved up the racetrack. I think Gary knew, I got to lift a little bit or this is going to not end well. And Alex Tagliani out in front is going to cost Clute second place, maybe third as well.
How about the driver of the 74, though? Kevin Lacroix started this race all the way back in 15th position and is now nearly battling for the lead.
Definitely impressive. I'm not going to say I'm surprised in the least. Oh, the 22 of Marc-Antoine Cameron. Steam coming up the windshield. The overflow just on the right side of the bottom corner of the windshield. And it is definitely blowing steam out that car.
Yeah, there you can see it on the front windshield of the 04, the Spectra Premium Dodge of JF Dumoulin, who's just in behind that Chevy Camaro on Marc-Antoine Cameron.
And there's good news and bad news. The steam will probably stop at some point. Generally when the engine's out of water and it's too late. Even to go around this racetrack this distance, pushing that much water out of the cooling system is not a good thing for Marc-Antoine Cameron.
So the 22 on track, and there you see the steam appears to have subsided a little bit. It's not as bad as it once was, but Cameron will be watching his temperature gauge down the back straightaway. Tom?
Yeah, guys, it looks like the 22 car is pushing a little bit of water out. Marc-Antoine Cameron on the radio with the team. Crew Chief Randy Steckley telling him, stay out, stay out. They don't want to make a stop. They'd like to have a solid finish.
Now, Randy knows the same principle of when the steam stops, the water is gone. But sometimes you leave a car on the racetrack hoping something got in front of the grill. Other times, if there's no solution to the problem, Dave, you just keep running until you're done.
It doesn't appear as though there's anything on the front end of that 22. A battle, though, just ahead for fourth spot between the 47 and the 59, who falls back. The 95 of Anthony Simoni also picking up a spot there underneath the 17 of DJ Kennington.
Impressive move for Simoni. Again, another driver is still on the tires that he started this race with, right behind the 59 of Gary Clute. Another driver still on his original Goodyear tires.
I was going to say, it looks like those tires starting to show their age at this point. For Gary Clute, he's being passed at will, but Simoni, the master of preserving those Goodyear Eagles, he goes by.
There's no preserving. He's the master of driving a car sideways, backwards, forwards, doesn't matter. His foot goes to the floor.
Here he goes, working on the Spectra Premium 04 of JF Dumoulin. Look to the inside as the car makes a big wiggle.
And he got through turn 5 really well, considering he drove to the inside the way he did. Simoni's driving on a mission here this afternoon.
He's now tucked up in the draft. He has the 17 of DJ Kennington just in behind as they head towards turn number 8. There's your race leader, Alex Tagliani. And here's that battle.
JF Dumoulin obviously concerned because he defended the inside going into turn 8. So he knows Anthony Simoni's on the move. Here he goes, swinging to the inside in 10.
Oh, that'll be tough to stick for 5th spot underneath the 04. With old tires, hard to make an outbreaking maneuver like that, and he's opened himself up to a potential pass. DJ Kennington saw an opportunity.
Well, and we watched DJ Kennington lose a spot earlier in the race, trying to make exactly that move. So Anthony Simoni doing a great job of mixing his offense with some defense and staying on the attack.
So there you see the top 3, the 18, 74, and 47 continuing on with this great battle for 5th spot between the 04 and the 95. But there is Alex Tagliani in the Rona EpiPen Chevy.
And he is the race leader. Andrew Ranger is ahead of the leader, but Ranger is on the lead lap, but at the very tail end. So he's basically a minute and 22 seconds behind the race leader, Alex Tagliani.
Yeah, he's back in 20th position to get 33 laps complete of a scheduled 51 here in the Total Quartz 200 at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. But Alex Tagliani has had some terrible luck here in the past. He's always been in the mix towards the front of the races, but come down to crunch time, it usually ends up crunch time for Alex Tagliani.
Well, and the one thing that concerns me for Tag is Kevin Lacroix and LP Dumoulin really close. When we see Alex fast on a road course, he's usually drive away from the field kind of fast.
Well, he's able to maintain a gap at the front of the pack right now. You see some of the other drivers we've been watching, and there he is, the 22 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, finally down pit lane after that water issue. So no doubt the temperature gauge going sky high, and the crew goes to work under hood. And there you see, look through the grill, you see that, you can see light.
Yeah, so there's ductwork behind that grill in the front bumper is ductwork, just like you have in your house. And it leads all the air that comes through that little opening to the size of the radiator. So it opens up to the radiator. If you crunch that ductwork to where the air can't get through, there's just nothing flowing through the radiator to cool the engine.
Looks like that is exactly what happened. So the crew trying to get that all straight away. Tagliani blows by the 27 down the straightaway as Andrew Ranger gets up and out of the way of the race leaders as they head through.
I just don't understand, because Ranger was ahead of them and keeping pace ahead of them. So, I mean, it leads me to believe the driver thinks something is going on that made him walk.
Oh,
and Ryan Clute in the 42 at a dead stop almost, right in front of the leaders.
A spin out of turn number 9, and that is the caution that Andrew Ranger needs. The first car 1 lap down, not even a lap down. We didn't finish.
Because they didn't complete the lap where they passed him.
That's right.
Before the yellow came out, I think we'll see Ranger will get waved around the pace car. Let's see what happened to Ryan Clute.
Yeah, just got around on him in turn number 9, and he tried to get off the racetrack and managed to. It's just a really bad place to park your car.
That's for sure. As Chris Sahakian in the 9 has an issue, the right front corner of that car right down on the racetrack.
So he'll find his pit stall, and the Kerry Mix crew will go to work and put a new right front tire on the number 9, and there is the 22 heartbreak for Marc-Antoine Cameron here in the GM Paillet Chevrolet. getting pushed back to the paddock area.
Definitely no power under the hood of that 22, but it's all downhill back to the garages. Here comes Gary Clute down into his pit stall.
Finally coming in to get those tires. He is going to feel like Superman in a couple laps as the crew goes to work, working on the left side first.
Also a huge help to the pit crew knowing you're not racing with 20 other cars that just came down pit road.
Julia Landauer in the part source number 25. You see the crew taking a look underneath the back end. Clinton telling us pit side appears as though they have some sort of suspension issue, so they're trying to diagnose that. As they do, we'll take a quick break here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Andrew Ranger, who once led the Total Quartz 200, is back in 18th, but he is on the lead lap. The 77 of Jocelyn Fecto will get the free pass during this caution period as we set up for restart number 3.
Dave, the reason a wave around is better, well, it's not really a wave around. The reason being trapped as a lap car and having scoring wave you around the caution car is better than getting the free pass. The free pass is on his way to catch the tail of the field. He's never going to catch the field before they go green. Andrew Ranger, because it was a scoring issue, he's right at the tail of the lead lap cars, right where he wants to be to try to make back some of those spots.
See a quick look at the 43 of Larry Jackson. Victory Games, a brand new sponsor to the NASCAR Pinty Series on board the 43. Great to see new companies getting involved with NASCAR as we get set for the restart. The third time we're going back to green here this afternoon. Tagliani and Lacroix will drag race to turn number 1.
Wow, another even start down into turn 1. Lacroix holding strong on the outside, but Tagliani just has the muscle.
Malcolm Strawn way up on the outside there as everybody jockeys for position.
Over the radio, we're hearing a penalty. The 27 of Andrew Ranger penalized for jumping the start. He's going to have to drive through pit road.
Oh, that's going to hurt the Mopar Dodge as he, whoa, we got problems. The 28 buck hard into the wall in turn number 3.
Oh, the tire wall has claimed another victim.
That was a heavy, heavy hit for the driver, the Omvic number 28. And it appeared to be contact as we go back under full course caution.
You know, the tire wall is much nicer than hitting concrete. But boy, oh boy, you hit the tires and it just sucks you in. Let's look. He's halfway through the field there. Yeah, Donald Teague was to the inside. The car got loose and then snapped back when he tried to correct it, and you just run out of pavement. Let's ride on board Malcolm Strawn. So there's Teague on the right side of the screen. That's Robin Buck on the left.
Tried to get in there, ran out of room.
You know, I think Buck was running a pretty racy line where you want to be. Run from the outside down to the bottom, but with this amount of traffic, it's hard to do.
Oh, an instructor here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is Robin Buck. Unfortunately, he'll have to take a long walk or hitch a ride back to the pit area this afternoon. His race is complete.
Malcolm Strawn, no worse for wear in the 56 machine. He had the best seat in the house for that. As there's Robin Buck out of the race car. That's what we like to see.
Robin Buck in probably the best shape of any driver in the NASCAR Pinty Series. So if anybody can make it through unscathed to one of those wrecks, it's Robin Buck. We'll be back with more from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Welcome back to the 10th race of the season in the 2018 NASCAR Pinty Series season. I'm Dave Bradley along with Adam Ross in the booth. Todd Lewis and Clinton Jeffrey both patrolling the pits here on NASCAR on TSN.
And Dave, we have to give best wishes to one of the hardest working people in NASCAR, Sean Gibbs. He's usually there before us and long after we leave, but he's leaving the employment of NASCAR. Well, we'll still see him as a fixture, hopefully, at the racetrack.
If anything, we'll see him as a fan at the racetrack because it's hard to get him away from the NASCAR Pinty Series, very much so. But a good hard worker is Sean Gibbs as we get set for another restart. Number 4. The 11 of Martin Cote getting the free pass during that last caution period. Tagliani bunches the field once again and then jumps hard on the gas.
Down into turn 1, Tagliani with a good start, but I'll say Kevin Lacroix also with a great start in that 74. He got himself situated right behind the 18 without getting mixed up with the Dumoulins.
Simone and the of JF Dumoulin, the Spectra Premium Dodge, nearly make contact, but they managed to stay single file into turn number 3.
That was a bold move by Anthony Simone, and keep one eye on that 59 of Gary Clute. Fresh Goodyears on that race car.
Now, Brett Taylor not too far in that battle, or away from that battle either, in the CBRT number 46. Really, hats off to Brett Taylor. He's having a great run. He's been snake-bitten here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in the past.
It is very hard to feel like you're improving in the NASCAR Pinty series in road course racing because the competition is just so steep. But mark my words, Brett Taylor is getting much, much better.
So he's got a little bit of a caved-in back bumper, that yellow rookie stripe on the back of the 46, soon to come off here once he completes his rookie season in 2018.
Dave, we are down to 10 laps to go in the Total Quartz 200. We ride on board with LP Dumoulin. Good run, just quietly sitting there in third spot. Remember the problems they had earlier on where they felt where the tire pressures weren't doing what they thought they would? I got to think this set of tires is a lot better for LP Dumoulin.
Quietly smiling, but doing exactly what you talked about, Adam, off the top of the show. He's near the front, but he's keeping his nose clean. He doesn't have to do anything dramatic. He's the points leader. He's the man in charge. Come home with a clean car, and that's what your goal is here today.
And you know, the challenge for everybody, LP Dumoulin has to focus on the 47 car. Everybody else in the field has to focus on the 47 car as well. So all he's got to do is drive the car he's driving. Everybody else in the points battle, they are following that 47 as well, and they're disappointed at how well he's running.
You know what, while we have a moment, all these great shots you see in NASCAR on TSN over the course of the season, we have to tip our hat to our crew. You've got the camera people, Dean and Claude, Frank, Stan, Rob, Steve Ryan, the director, of course, Jim Robinson, headed into the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame in 2018, and of course Joel Robinson as well. They all make these races happen each and every season.
A hard-working crew, Dave, and I have to congratulate you for putting up with me, because if my wife is any indication, it's really hard to do.
Yeah, we've shared some secrets.
Oh, if we could share the stories of the things we haven't said.
Exactly, but you know what? We don't have to share stories about us because the drivers are making it all about them, and we got a battle heating up now for third spot.
Well, let's say a big get well as they drive through turn 2. Turn 2, Marty, we're thinking of you. We hope you're doing better, and best wishes.
One of the fixtures here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and that's what's unique about this track is you have a number of fixtures.
Well, and the other thing, when we went to commercial a couple of minutes ago, I don't even have to question it, but Ed Butt, there must have been 300 people in that screen, and you could see Ed Butt right in the center of it. Glenn Butt's father, Ed, a legendary tuner, suspension man on race cars, and again, a fixture here at CTMP.
All the way down to the go-kart ranks, Ed Butt has worked on those race cars. On board with Kevin Lacroix, sits comfortably in second spot in the bumper-to-bumper Total Lacroix tuning number 74.
The engine in that race car sounds pretty good. Remember, he blew up yesterday in practice, and he would be the first to tell you this engine doesn't quite have the steam that the other motors have, but it's holding his own out there.
Interesting, it's the last car, or last race for that chassis in the Lacroix tuning team. He's giving it a good showing, sitting at second. Welcome back to NASCAR on TSN. Just 5 laps to go as we ride on board your race leader, Alex Tagliani, has 7 career wins in the NASCAR Pinty Series, but so far having a great points day for the 44-year-old.
He's got a bit of a lead over Kevin Lacroix. I wouldn't call it comfortable, but not to the point where he needs to drive in his rearview mirror too much. The car we're looking for is the 59 of Gary Clute. He's behind this lead pack, but for that strategy to really work, he needs a yellow. There he is there. He's not close enough to come up and pass these cars, but I think with a yellow and a restart, he could have his way with a few of them.
Yeah, he needs the field to be bunched as LP Dumoulin getting racy there in third spot. He's right up underneath the 74 of Kevin Lacroix, as we take a look at your points leader at work.
Man, it feels good on a straightaway when you close the gap on the car in front of you. That's what every race car driver wants. And how about Anthony Simone running in the 4th spot in that innovative Fleming number 95?
Well, you know he can get it done. He has had podiums here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in the past as JF Dumoulin takes a look in turn number 10. Not quite close enough there, but look just in behind the 17 Castrol Edge Dodge of DJ Kennington. A steady Eddie on the road course here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, an average finish of 4th.
He knows, though, that for a points championship, he doesn't want to rely only on the 3 oval tracks remaining on the schedule. He'd love to get up here, pick up a position or 2, but you know he's not going to push the limits to risk his race car.
Remember when he was called the Castrol Kid? He's had 24 years of racing experience here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Unbelievable.
The gap widening a little bit between 1st and 2nd, but LP Dumoulin all over the 74 of Lacroix. Simone not letting them get away either, from 2nd right back to 5th. This is a battle.
Remember, JF Dumoulin, I should say, stood on the podium at the Toronto Indy earlier on this year, so he does have a car that can compete for a win, and he's looking to get just a little bit further up the running order now.
And I think he was fixing for a podium result at Trois-Rivières as well, if not for that awkward restart at the end as LP looks to the outside of the back straightaway down into turn number 8. He'll fall back in line with Lacroix.
Tagliani continues to lead now by about 5 car lengths, maybe more. Simone to the inside takes a look on the 47 of LP Dumoulin. Andrew Ranger all the way back in 10th. Another one of those drivers we've been watching.
And now JF Dumoulin back to the inside of Simone. Contact in turn number 1. That could have been catastrophic.
They managed to sort it out in through turn number 2. This is a high-speed blind apex downhill left-hand turn, one of the hardest in motorsports. On board with JF Dumoulin.
Whoa, hello. And that smoke shows, well, I guess it was body work on right rear tire, but we'll watch for a tire possibly going down on the 95 of Anthony Simone. Any contact at that speed, and these no tires like that, Dave.
No, and turn 1 is a dicey place for that contact to happen. It can end badly in a hurry. And now Ranger continues to move up. You can see his name on your ticker at the top of your screen. 9th spot now for the driver of the Mopar, number 27.
And right now, the 2 fastest cars on the track are DJ Kennington in the 17 and the 59 of Gary Clute. I just think they're too far back to really hope to get up towards the podium.
There will be 2 laps to go when they cross the line this time by. There you saw a quick glimpse. There's DJ Kennington. There is Gary Clute on the top of your screen. Will they have enough time to catch that pack? They desperately need a caution now.
And you can really see the difference between driving offensively and driving defensively. Anthony Simone was all over the 47 of LP Dumoulin. Once JF started to battle with him, he's got to watch his mirror a little bit more, be a little bit more conservative or defensive on corner entry, and it's costing him speed to the 3rd place car of LP Dumoulin.
Well, it's funny, too, as these drivers get aggressive, they heat up those tires, and Malcolm Strawn on the outside of now the inside of the 27 of Andrew Ranger makes a vie for 8th position on the outside of turn number 2.
And Ranger's just going to go wherever they are not. I mean, if there's an opening, he's going to take it. Strawn, Andrew Ranger, when he's determined to make a pass, I don't know that there's anybody that can stop him.
He is so smooth on road courses behind the wheel of a NASCAR Pinty Series car. You hear Malcolm Strawn burping the throttle just a little bit just to keep up with the driver of the Mopar Dodge.
You want to carry speed, but not too much speed. Oh, I needed a bit more speed than that.
And to the outside goes the 47 of LP Dumoulin. Can't make it stick on the 74 of Kevin Lacroix, but will he cross over into turn number 9? He closes the gap. 10 is a good passing opportunity, and no, he'll stay in line. But look at JF Dumoulin now to the inside of the 95. White flag is out, 1 more lap to go.
LP Dumoulin to the inside, JF Dumoulin to the inside. Great battles in the top 5 at CTMP.
Trois-Rivières, Quebec, getting the same idea in through turn number 1. JF made it stick. LP couldn't, as LP in the WeatherTech Dodge sits in 3rd spot.
Well, and there again, LP's got to look in the mirror. He does not want, now that his brother's behind him, he can probably feel a little bit better, because you know Simone would take chances. LP wants no part of that, but at the same time, he doesn't want to mix up with Lacroix either.
On board LP Dumoulin as he chases the 74 in through Moss corner for the final time. Lacroix locks up. He'll miss the apex on the entrance of turn 5. LP Dumoulin gets a run on the exit and down the Andretti straightaway.
Alex Tagliani snake bit here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. He's not going to feel good about this until he crosses a checkered flag.
But look at this battle for 2nd spot. Both cars wiggle in turn number 8. Lacroix is going to hold on the inside. The 47 of LP Dumoulin battling hard in turn number 9. Tagliani has a huge lead now at the front of the field. The battle for 4th is tight.
But at the front, Alex Tagliani takes the win. Lacroix is 2nd, Dumoulin 3rd, JF Dumoulin 4th, and Anthony Simone rounds out the top 5. They are celebrating on pit road.
This is a huge relief for Fritz and the crew in the 18 pit as Alex Tagliani picks up his 8th career win. Todd?
Here's the team owner, Scott Steckley, a smile on his face. That was a terrific drive by Alex.
Yeah, this place has owed Alex a lot. We've had a lot of bad finishes here. Too bad for Mark. Donald got a top 10, which he wanted, but it's great for this 18 crew to get 2 wins this year. We just got to keep it up and try for a championship. Thanks.
He is all business.
He is, but you know what? Big smile on Scott Steckley. You don't often see that when he's at the racetrack because he is all business. He'll celebrate this one in Victory Lane when we return. Alex Tagliani from Montreal, Quebec earns his 8th career NASCAR victory here in the Total Quartz 200. Todd Lewis awaits the celebration. Todd?
For the 2nd time this season, it is a victorious number 18, Alex Tagliani, who steps up to accept the applause and cheers from the fans, from his team, and wave that checkered flag. Fist pump in the air, and Alex Tagliani, you had the victory in Three Rivers. You have the victory here, one that you've wanted for a long time, and you had a strong car to do it all day.
Yeah, first of all, look, I was watching this sticker in the dash, Get Well Weekend, so I mean, I never taught it to a driver that much, you know, since he had his accident, so you know, wish him well. I guess he was with us, the 22 racing team. I knew Tyler was going to come on the radio and say, this track owes us more. But I think we were well overdue. The first race, we were leading with 3 to go. And I was hearing gremlins on the last lap, and I just took it so easy. I wanted to finish, and I can't thank enough the 22 racing team, all the sponsor, Rona, EpiPen, everybody that's been supporting this team so long. And the guys, they were focused today, and they did amazing in the pit. So it's a team effort. We needed this one.
A team victory for Alex Tagliani, and he certainly tightens up that championship points race, too.
Well, Kevin Lacroix, not bad day. You started 15th, finished 2nd. Your crew has had to work crazy amounts this season. Talk about your drive and your run to 2nd today.
Yeah, like you said, the crew works so hard every weekend, and the luck is not on our side. Again, we blew up an engine with 3 laps in practice, so we come in the race, no much information, and it's nice. You know, normally I'm only happy with a win, but now starting 15 and no track time before the race, we can enjoy the 2nd place.
Yeah, and it's a good points day for Kevin Lacroix as well as we take a look at the top 20 finishers here today. Great run, as we mentioned, for DJ Kennington's 6th spot. Malcolm Strong inside the top 10, the 56.
Solid finish. The 24 of Donald Teague, a top 10. Brett Taylor, 13th, or Jocelyn's Rookie of the Year. Cole Powell might be a little disappointed back in 14th.
Julia Landauer in 16th. Let's go back down to Victory Lane. Todd?
The consistent finishes continue for LP Dumoulin on the podium. Another third-place finish, another solid run for this 47 team.
Super happy with my team. The WeatherTech Benmar car was fast again today, and then fast enough to finish on the podium. We were a bit tight, and then that didn't help a couple corners. I think it did help on the power down on a few other corners like 5B. So we had a good run in the backstretch on a 74, but couldn't close the deal. And at the end of the day, we wanted to finish on the podium today. Good job to Tag and his team. I mean, we're battling in a championship right now, still 3 races to go, and I think we can show up for more wins this season, so we'll work hard at it.
As you heard him mention, points battling the 18 of Alex Tagliani, now 14 markers, the difference between first and second.
And Dave, 3 races left, 5 points per race will put Alex Tagliani atop the Pinty Series points. I mean, that's how you have to look at it, 1 race at a time.
The season not over by any means, but it will be exciting as we cap the 2018 season.
Alice Sandbath from Total celebrates with Alex Tagliani an impressive trophy.
This race has been brought to you by Mopar. We built it, we know it. By E3 Spark Plugs, born to burn. By Pinty's, making great food fun. And by Total Quartz Engine Oil, high technology for your engine.
For the final time this season, we celebrate a podium on a road course. From here, it's all ovals.
Well, the 10th race of the 2018 NASCAR Pinty Series took to the twists and turns of one legendary road course, the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the track once called Mosport. One of the biggest racing events in Canada flew the NASCAR banner proudly. The True North strong and fast race hard for 51 laps.
In the end, Alex Tagliani took home a victory that has eluded him for so many years. Now, the series moves to the tight, flat oval at Saint-Eustache, Quebec, the Montreal Motorsport Madhouse.
All of us here at NASCAR on TSN are thinking of Robert Wickens and hoping for a speedy recovery. Get well, Wickens. For all of us here at NASCAR on TSN, we'll see you next time.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.